a flame hidden in our blood. Once in a quiet village nestled between tall mountains and a whispering forest, there lived a young boy named Kael. The village was small, its houses built of stone and wood, and its people were kind but cautious. They lived simple lives, tending to their farms and animals, always careful not to disturb the ancient tales that lingered in the shadows of the trees. Kael was different from the others. While most children his age were content with playing by the river or helping their parents, Kael often wandered into the forest, listening to the wind as if it carried secrets. His grandmother, the oldest woman in the village, would watch him with knowing eyes. She had seen many winters, and in her time she had learned that some stories were more than just tales. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Kael sat by the fire with his grandmother. The flames danced, casting long shadows on the walls. "Grandmother," Kael asked, "why do the elders say we must never go too deep into the forest?" The old woman stirred the fire with a stick, her gaze distant. "Because, child, some fires are not meant to burn in the open. There's a flame hidden in our blood, a power that sleeps within us. The forest knows this." Kael frowned. "What do you mean?" She sighed. "Long ago, before our village stood here, there were others, people who could speak to the earth, who could call fire from their hands and light from their voices. But power is a dangerous thing, Kael. It can warm or it can burn. Those who wielded it without care were lost to it. The elders say the forest keeps their echoes, waiting for those who might wake the flame again." Kael's heart raced. He had always felt something, an itch beneath his skin, a warmth in his chest when he ran too fast or laughed too hard. Could this be what his grandmother meant? The next morning, he slipped away from the village and ventured deeper into the forest than he ever had before. The trees grew thicker, their branches twisting like old fingers. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and something else, something sharp, like lightning before a storm. As he walked, he heard a whisper. Not the wind, not the leaves. A voice. "You have come." Kael spun around, but there was no one. Then, from the shadows, a figure emerged. A woman with skin like bark and eyes like glowing embers. "You carry the spark," she said, "but fire is not kind to those who do not respect it." Kael swallowed hard. "Who are you?" "I am the last of those who remember," she replied. "The ones who walked with fire. You feel it, do you not? The heat in your veins?" Kael nodded. She smiled, but it held no warmth. "Then you must choose. To learn, or to turn back. To master the flame, or let it sleep forever." For a moment, fear gripped him. What if he could not control it? What if the fire consumed him? But then he thought of his grandmother's words. Some fires are not meant to burn in the open. Maybe the flame was not a curse, but a gift. "I want to learn," he said. The woman placed a hand on his chest, and Kael gasped as heat surged through him. The world blurred, and when his vision cleared, he stood alone in the forest. But something had changed. When he held out his hand, a small, steady flame flickered above his palm. He returned to the village that night, his heart full of wonder. His grandmother was waiting. She took one look at him and nodded slowly. "So it begins," she said. From that day on, Kael trained in secret. He learned to summon the flame, to shape it, to keep it from raging out of control. But the more he used it, the more the villagers noticed. Whispers spread. Fear grew. One night, a storm rolled in, fierce and wild. Lightning struck a barn, setting it ablaze. The villagers rushed to put out the fire, but the wind fed the flames. Kael knew he could help, but if he did, they would see his power. He hesitated only a moment before stepping forward. With a deep breath, he raised his hands. The fire shrank, bending to his will until there was nothing but embers. The villagers stared in shock. Some stepped back in fear. Others murmured words like sorcery and danger. Kael's grandmother stood before them all, her voice strong. "This is not darkness," she said. "This is the flame hidden in our blood. It is not evil unless we make it so." But fear is a fire of its own, and not all were convinced. That night Kael stood at the edge of the village, looking back at the only home he had ever known. He could stay and fight their fear, or leave and protect them from it. With a heavy heart, he turned toward the forest. Somewhere out there, the woman with eyes like embers waited. And perhaps others like him. As he walked away, the flame in his palm burned steady and bright. Not a weapon, not a curse, but a light to guide him forward. For fire, in the end, is neither good nor evil. It is what we make of it. And Kael would make sure his flame warmed, not burned. The end.